Gray.
Hi, I'm Gray. I'm the executive director here at Worldbuilders. These are cool little books that we'll be talking about, among other things. Okay, and we have sound, which is even better. Every week, this time we bring you latest news, treasures, special deals from the Worldbuilders market, trivia, nerdy tangents, and especially this week, Geeks Doing Good stories that are thanks to your incredible support. Thank you for joining us.
And we also have something cool coming up for Memorial Day on Worldbuilders Market. 50% of all proceeds will be donated to the Paralyzed Veterans of America Wisconsin chapter. So that's pretty cool. If you guys have anything that you want to buy for any family, friends, please put it through Worldbuilders Market, because not only does that support our own initiatives, but when we get to do little one-off grants and donations like this, it also helps other nonprofits and makes us feel good.
Right. And actually, speaking of helping other nonprofits, didn't put this in here, but we did finally get the final tally for the Science Fiction and Fantasy Writers Association auction that was powered by Worldbuilders. And we raised $25,000 for them. They are very, very happy, and we are, as usual, passing through 100% of those proceeds to their organization, which is doing things such as the Disney Must Pay hashtag. So, I mean, if we didn't already love Mary Robinette enough, she is spearheading the battle against Disney, trying to get Disney to go ahead and actually pay authors for the contracts that they signed, even though Disney bought the contracts from the original thing. So I'd recommend you look up hashtag Disney Must Pay. I also want to say, very proud, one of our board members, Kevin Lamp, is the publicist who is working with that organization to write out those newsletters and stuff. And so, you know, we love Kevin anyway, but the fact that he is not only a geek doing good here, but a geek doing good there, we're just especially proud of him for that. So, all right.
Get the mouse. Thank you for that contribution, Julia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, hashtag Mickey Must Die. That's a good one going around. No, I'm just joking. That's not fun.
I don't want to die. I just want him to pay people.
Right. Exactly.
Pay people for their work. Well, what a thought.
So we got an old trivia image on here. Looks like it was a Stranger Things one. That's interesting. Stranger Things is set in the fictional rural town of Hawkins, but in which U.S. state is it located? If any of you got this answer, kudos to you.
Are you not a Stranger Things fan?
You know, I'm not a Stranger Things fan. I didn't feel very dedicated to it, but I think that it's a great show and the acting is awesome. So yeah. Yes. Did you know the answer to this, Gray?
No, I was totally off. I was going to say Nebraska or Ohio. Those are my two guesses, which, you know, are similar. Well, but
the real answer was Indiana. So not Nebraska or Ohio, but probably also fans of corn. I don't know. That's like a joke. corn states. New trivia question. Gray, do you want to take this one?
I just want to address Softspire says that Indiana is clearly a fictional state. And I will just say that so is everything in between British Columbia and Ontario. I mean, that's true.
Also, Finland's not real, just in case you guys weren't sure. So
I mean, it doesn't actually exist. So yes, new trivia question. So Finn, the stormtrooper who found his conscience in The Force Awakens, didn't have a name until he encountered Poe Dameron. A lot of things he didn't have before he encountered Poe Dameron. But anyway, what was his stormtrooper call sign before he took on the name of Finn? Don't say it in the chat. Don't say it in the chat. Yeah, we're gonna put in this, and we will talk about his call sign during that time. But yeah, I will also say among the many reasons I dislike Disney is because I was totally 100% a POFin shipper. That's the term you kids use these days, right? When you want two people to get together romantically.
Yeah, you can ship that. You can
Okay.
stand someone.
Oh yeah, I could stand. I thought Stan only worked for the Winter Soldier. But okay. Well, anyway, yeah, so that was the thing. Julia's definitely real, Sauce. I'm sorry, but yeah, definitely.
But yeah, as you guys know, you can send that to any of the DMs of our social media platforms, as well as questions at worldbuilders.org. I might start to phase that one out because nobody uses it for that, but that's okay. And we'll see who wins the upcoming monthly prize draw. And I hope that you guys can get 3 weeks in a row responding to the chat. So our special guest this week is Geeks Doing Good. Welcome, yep. Geeks Doing Good.
Woohoo! I don't actually know. Did you get one of the logos to put up there, our new logo? I realize this is where I'm sort of throwing Jamie, our engineer, under the bus. Okay, yeah. Well, I gotta say, so one of the things I really like about this new logo, one of the things we are actually focusing a lot on gaming stuff this time around. Not that we don't always talk about games, but we are in particular getting to talk about dice. And we I have it right here on my desk, a little 20-sided dice. This is actually one from Gary Kahn. And so we decided to integrate dice into the logo, and we're like, oh hey, dice 20 is the century, but wait, 2020, that's no fun. But what if we put 2021? And yeah, that's it. Well, what does it mean when it's 21? And I don't know what you say, but I killed myself trying to think of, there it is. Woo! 20. Wow.
Thank you for that.
That's definitely going. Yeah, so the 21, and I was trying in my head to try and think of what's a good slogan for this, and I couldn't think of anything. Getting past 20, what is it? And yeah, I think a 21-sided dice would be fantastic. I kind of want to make some special, just that it skips one and it just has a 21 on it. So, but that being said, I want to give full credit here. Skoys, who I don't think is in the chat right now, but Skoys, the minute I mentioned I was looking for one, he says, how about hashtag rolling past 20? And I was like, fine, make it look easy. No worries. But yeah, so rolling past 20, I think that is a great way to put it, because we want to talk about, moving on beyond that horrible year. Yes.
Honestly, 2020 really just ruined a bunch of really good logo opportunities. We were having a conversation the other day in my house about how the 2020 Olympics was the most perfect design that anyone could have come up with, and it was just ruined. Also, yeah. Halloween was on a Saturday. We had just a ton of really good stuff coming up in 2020 that was right. Just punched into the dirt. So that's good. But this year, I think it'll be good. It's. Sorry, Gray. Keep going.
I was just going to say, I realize that we're sitting here and we're talking about Geeks Doing Good as if everybody in the world knows about it. So right. let's frame this. Let's frame this for the clip. So Zay, what exactly is Geeks Doing Good?
I would like to say, minor caveat, Geeks Doing Good. Well, before I discuss what is the names, because we call this a lot of things. It's Geeks Doing Good. It's our June fundraiser. It's our mid-season fundraiser. It's our capacity fundraiser. So if you guys hear us say any of those things, it is all the same thing.
Also, so mid-season showcase.
Right, mid-season showcase. The showcase fundraiser. I remember talking to Beth when she came onto our crew. If you hear any of these things, they're all the same thing. It was just a list of 10 names. But yeah, so what is that? What does it mean? I think capacity fundraiser is one of the names that we call it that really helps summarize what it is, as well as Geeks Doing Good. And basically, it helps us as world builders continue to do the things that we do. And that sounds pretty straightforward, pretty obvious, but we're a pass-through charity. Often pass-through charities take administrative costs to be able to serve the functions and the donations of those charities they pass funds off to. We're able to pass 100% of everything that we raise for other charities because of this campaign. So, like Heifer, when we say we raise, if we raised $1 million for them, they receive a check for $1 million, not, 900,000 with some odd cents, because we get to pay for the not only our charity, or not only like those things, but also like some of the programs that we get to do on the side, by supplementing it in other ways. Was that even a good explanation?
It works. I mean, yeah, I will say, when I came on as executive director, and I looked at the fact, they said 100% pass-through. I said, well, you mean 100%, and we take out, money for administrative costs or things like that. Nope, not a bit of it. They were like, nope, 100% goes in there. And I was like, but you can't do that. That doesn't work that way. And I mean, now there's this thing called the overhead myth. And I don't want it to be like, we are better than everybody else because we pass on 100% of our, it's not about better. It's actually, it's a privilege. It's lucky that we get to do that. And we get to do it because of people like you, the geeks who are out there supporting our work by buying things at the World Builders Market, which also helps us support creators and things like that, be a good member of the geeky ecosystem, and this capacity fundraiser. This is where we try and raise a bunch of money in a fun way in order to help keep the lights on and help us be able to do the work that we're doing. One of the questions, well, first I want to address two things. First of all, Scoy's did it again. The official name now is going to have to be the Mid-Season Capacity Summer Geek Showcase Doing Good Amazing Extravaganza. Or the MSCSGSDGAE for short. And also, Saucefire did note that, yes, and he's actually absolutely right. If we meet our donation goal this year, we will be able to pay him every single penny that he is due for the appearance fees for the stream. So yes, every single thing you have coming to you that you deserve, Saucefire, we will be able to give it to you.
Also, Rickles Robbie, sorry if I said your name wrong, Reckles Robbie, Geekosystem is the best thing I've heard in the last decade.
Yes.
But yeah, so I mean, that covers a little bit of the what, a little bit of the why. There's this other component of Geeks Doing Good where we get to create this merchandise, which is exciting, and it allows us to do a couple of things. One, we get to license with creators, and sometimes for those creators who don't have merch or create things that kind of are demands from their fan base that they just haven't been able to bring to life or come to fruition. There's a good example that Gray is putting right there. That's a shirt from the Murderbot series, which is why did I just forget the name of the show?
From Sanctuary Moon.
Sanctuary Moon, yeah. It's like a kind of little inside thing for those fans.
And let's this is one of the things that we are going to be donating, or not donating, that we're going to be actually be able to offer. We're working with a pin maker named Pixeladium, and have, with Martha Wells' blessing, developed 2 new Murderbot pins that will be offered exclusively, at least at first, through us for this fundraiser. So yeah, that is great examples of things that we develop. And of course, we also have the book itself, Fugitive Telemetry, and I guess we don't have one in here. We have signed book plates that Martha did specifically for World Builders that can come with these. So if you've already bought the book, you can now get the t-shirt and the pins and the book plates and help support World Builders.
Of course, Martha is established, a great author, has definitely had an increasing rise in fame for her brilliant work. So, you know, we create merch, but we're probably not really doing any favors. She has the fan base to support her. However, there are quite a few upcoming authors that we hope to kind of bring light to with the kinds of things that we introduce for Geeks Doing Good. One of the examples of this is the books that have been chilling there next to Gray. One of them on top right there is Cost of Victory. You guys got to listen to us have a chat with C.R. Saxon. Underneath that, you know, you heard us had a chat with Nandi Taylor. So those are some authors that are on the rise and kind of have come out with some of their debut novels. We'll have a bundle of those books that are either signed or have some signed book plates. And so you guys can buy a couple of their items together, you know, with that little special added thing from the author, either notated or signed, and help support people who deserve a little bit more voice in the community.
Now, I want to specify this particular one because we're going to have a Sean Speakman pack that will have this book, the actual printed version, and, well, this is printed, obviously, the official version, along with the prequel, which is The Unexpected Death of Life of Jack Dreth, I think the name of it is. Anyway, there's an interesting story behind that, in that Sean Speakman wrote the original story that was based on for a Worldbuilders fundraiser. And then it became a novella, and the novella went on to become this published book. And so he has donated 5 advanced readers copies that are not only signed, but we had made a special Worldbuilders Geek Doing Good stamp inside the front cover. So yeah, neat stuff. And we'll talk about maps a little bit later, but he also gave us the rights to print out a map of his world that he created. So creating fun stuff like that is one of the biggest things that we do.
And if you guys stick around, we'll circle back and talk about a little bit more of this stuff. You know, we have some more sneak peek items. But yeah, it's just kind of a nice way to chat about what is Geeks Doing Good and what kind of does it provide for us, for our community, the people that we get to work with, and how does it help us as we go through in the future maintaining our 100% pass-through status. So thank you for everyone who participates in Geeks Doing Good. It is a lot of work back here. It is also pretty fun, and, you know, is a little different because you guys joined us, this kind of new regime as COVID started. You know, it's still, we're seeing kind of that leftover COVID effects, at least at our business and our warehouse. We can continue to keep people safe. So, you know, things kind of continue to be a little bit different. We don't get to hang out together in the same office, but hopefully, you know, things are changing towards next year.
I mean, don't tell Zay, we actually are all hanging out at the office. We just didn't tell her about it so that we could kind of enjoy it.
Right.
And actually, to be honest, we want to give some of our things that we developed for ourselves are related to this. For example, we have one of the things that I do enjoy doing is being able to not wear a mask because I am now fully vaccinated. But as you may have noticed in the US, there's people who are fully vaccinated and therefore stop wearing masks. And then there's people who never bothered with the vaccination and never bothered with masks. And it's hard to tell either one. And so we created a t-shirt that will kind of help let you show sort of, you know, where you stand on that spectrum, shall we say. And I think, yeah, we can show that. I think I see, yep, there we go. So that's one of the new t-shirts that we'll be offering. Yeah, the Zoom elaborate. Yeah, the whole pandemic is just an elaborate thing we're doing. So yeah, it's simple. It's a simple message, and you know, it's even not even political. And then the other, also, if you have the on mute, now there's been a series of t-shirts that says I'm on mute, and we were considering that, but then we decided, you know what, if we just use the symbol itself, that means it's not, it can be more than just I'm on mute. It could sort of be a suggestion to other people, depending on what's going on. So, so this is another sort of design that we came up with that we figured was somewhat especially relevant to that. And then I'm not sure, Jamie, if I had the Tweet No Evil one, but we have another one that's good that will say Zoom No Evil, Slack No Evil, Tweet No Evil on it. So things like that we're doing that are just kind of, it's part of our normal, hey, we're making funny t-shirts that you can't get in other places. Cool, the Bebo, we sold one, we sold a t-shirt. Told you that would work.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and of course, as we talk about some of these products, please keep in mind, when you get to the Indiegogo where we host our site, there are tons of products that we won't be covering all of them here, but these are just some of the things that we have, either some prototypes for, or some some images for that we're particularly excited about that we want to show off a little bit. So yeah.
Should we talk about some of the programs that we've talked about doing for that are a little more unusual, they're a little more charity focused?
Sure.
Yeah. So one of the things, and some of you may know this, if you gave through Classy, at some point you were able to say, make this a recurring donation, and you can do that. You've always been able to sign up as a recurring donation, but we haven't really made it a big deal, not as big a deal at least as we should have. So exasperated in the sheets. Oh boy, sauce fire. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to create a way to acknowledge those who are going to sign up for a sustainable donation. That is giving a little bit of money every month, which means that we have less of a feast or famine kind of, oh my God, our coffers are empty and now we have to have a fundraiser for us and things like that. It can instead be a steady thing. So we've created the Worldbuilders Architects program. And there's going to be 3 different levels, $10 level, a $25 level, and a $50 level. The only difference in the levels is that one of the first things that you get when you're Worldbuilders Architect in Sustainable Giving is a discount at Worldbuilders Market. And there's a slightly higher discount for the $50 level, but everything else that happens is the same. You will get a certificate suitable for framing. And now this is kind of one of the special things, since we're launching this during Geeks Doing Good. If you sign up during Geeks Doing Good, you will get an actual printed on canvas with our fancy ass art maker thing and hand signed by Patrick Rothfuss certificate that we will send you. If you have someone sign up later on, we will probably be just sending them a nice little PDF at a high resolution they can print out themselves. But this is the first batch is going to be hand signed and things like that. It also will be giving you access to a special event that we'll be having every month. It's hosted by the writer, author, and also Worldbuilders board member, Mike Martinez. And it's going to be called Geeks Doing Good Live. And it will be a sort of discussion group, and we'll have some guests, and sometimes we'll be talking about games and other special events. So those are just 2 of the things that are coming with the Worldbuilders Architect program, and there is more. You'll get a neat little button, because that's it. Now, if you're saying, well, that doesn't sound like much for $50 a month, keep in mind, we're a nonprofit. We're not doing a transactional thing. We're not saying, hey, if you pay $50, you'll get this amazing thing. We're saying, if you get $50, you can help us keep doing amazing things, and we will recognize you for that. We will give you all the credit and then some, and do everything we can to make it better. So that's one of the ways that we're trying to sort of make these a little bit different this year at Geeks Doing Good.
Also, thank you, Julia. Also, I think it is nice to get little sneak peeks to the marketplace and some discounts, kind of a way of like giving back a little bit to people who give to us. I've lost my place here, Gray.
So another one we're going to do, you may have seen in the past, and Zay was actually part of building these, which was the game bundles. We have offered game bundles in the past, but we made a mistake. We forgot that people don't necessarily want stuff for themselves, but people do like giving stuff away. The Masked Hero initiative that we created kind of showed that. So Zay, you want to tell about the game bundles that you and Mike created?
Yeah, so basically, these were something that were already offered on the store, like Gray said a little bit ago, but people don't love tabletop games all the time. It's just, I understand it's like storing them and stuff, but tabletop games are an awesome commodity when it comes especially to like kids or just being available to community items. So instead of like offering them for you guys to like take and fill up your house, which we've kind of seen is not really what people want from our marketplace all the time. Instead, if you donate, we will then donate money to us. Buy them on our behalf, similar to the Masked Hero program. We will donate those games in your name to a couple places. Right now, it's not a specified organization yet, but we're looking at things like orphanages and children's homes, some veteran organizations, family shelters, children's hospitals. There are some retirement homes, youth clubs, essentially other things that function as nonprofits that people could put these items to use. And it's been proven that a lot of you guys like to, help or donate in the name of good for those items to go to a place. So I think this is a really good initiative, and that'll be, available.
Hey, we have Wile E. Coyote, the maker of amazing kitchen swords, on our chat, which is fantastic. So I'll just tell you real quick, Wile E., or should I call you Mr. Coyote? I don't know. This particular Geeks Doing Good is not an auction, which is why we haven't been more in contact with you. We're focused on getting this showcase up. The auction happens at the end of the year. So yeah, you could definitely mail things in. Zay takes in donations all year round. And then, and then it comes in, so.
Wiley, if this is the same person that we have had a discussion before, if you have my email, you can email me again, and I'll make sure to keep that conversation going. Otherwise, questions at worldbuilders.org is a good way to reach me directly still, guys. I do look through that, so.
It's kind of embarrassing though. Another reason why we're doing this capacity fundraiser is, I know it's going to be shocking. Our World Builders Market website and worldbuilders.org website is using the cutting edge technology and design principles from at least the late 90s to early 2000s. Let's be honest, we are well overdue for a redesign and to make it easier for people to find us, to make it easy for us to tell people and spread the message that of the work we're doing. So yeah, hack the planet and redesign the website. Yeah, we did good callback there to hack the planet. Hackers, love that. So the whole, sorry, you distracted me because my brain went back to Hackers and how much I love that movie. We are going to be using some of the funds in order to get a real live web designer to come in and help shape up our sites and get those fixed up.
Yeah, it has. I mean, at this point, when you guys try to go on our site, we understand that there are problems when, sometimes there's problems with checkout. Sometimes you can't select the items you want. And every time that happens, it impedes our ability to do the good that we want to do because we're not receiving money, to our charity. So we plan on trying to fix the website as well over the course of Geeks Doing Good. So supporting Geeks Doing Good is, not only kind of donating to that specific campaign, but also helping raise those funds, raise awareness as we are working on the site at the same time. So we're hoping that it'll kind of like one will supplement the time that we're spending on the other. Yeah.
All right. Well, our engineer is actually highlighting a question in the script that I think we do need to cover. I'm going to try covering it in a special way here. And this may be a total disaster, in which case you can all just clip it. And how much good would a good geek do if good geek would do good? There we go. Not going to try and keep that going. There's the question, Zay. How much good would a good geek do if good geek would do good?
A lot, I think. I think that we've kind of, covered a couple of these questions, but one of them that, so we've, kind of talked about that we're 100% pass-through. It allows us to continue doing that. It allows us to expand our internal efforts of the things that we directly affect, not just our pass-through orgs. But also, we, in our warehouse, we fulfill the orders that you guys make on Worldbuilders Market. We also try to do some third-party fulfillment. So sometimes when you buy from another geek-centered website, we might be the person that's fulfilling that in our warehouse. And part of our initiative is to make sustainable change. And often nonprofits, like the work that we do, it's all linked into one thing. So, if you're trying to fight poverty, if you're trying to do social justice, if you're trying to end hunger, a lot of those sustainable changes are all wrapped up in the same type of ecosystem, and they affect each other. They don't live as some singular thing. And so on top of that, when we try on top of our initiatives, when we are fulfilling orders, when we are fulfilling things for end of year, our marketplace tries to do sustainable good, which is kind of wrapped up in being environmentally conscious. And some of the ways that we do this is making sure that the materials that we use are, environmentally conscious as well. So, if you ever joined us for the one stream where Gray dissolved packing peanuts in water, so our packing peanuts are not general styrofoam. They are biodegradable materials that break down either by just being disintegrated by water, or they'll break down naturally as other biodegradable materials do in like soil. So they don't fill up landfills. It's a conversation that I think some people might be tired of hearing, but it doesn't go away just because because it gets annoying. So our packaging, we try to go through more locally sourced when we can. There are a couple different packaging places we've gone through. One of them was in Green Bay, which is located close here to Stevens Point. And, we try our best to not order products through those unsustainable places. I'm hesitating because I almost said their name.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't say the name.
But we can't really say the name of places,
Right.
But yeah. So yeah.
So thankfully, Gary replaced a few items here on the showcase stage. And there's some things that I'm really, really excited about. And before I do that, I just want to shout out another fun thing we've been able to do, thanks to your help, is we've been able to help out sponsoring conventions that are highlighting BIPOC and other marginalized voices. So for example, if you go to that particular website that I just put in the chat, theconvention.fialitmag.com, you'll see we are actually the first sponsor of there, which means we're going to be having an entire channel during their convention and stuff like that's going on. So really, really happy that we can be a part of FIACon this year. But this stuff, so some of you may have looked at Dragon at Heart designs in the past. Robbie it's a sort of a one-person shop. He makes interesting D&D and like laser cut boxes like that. So in particular, we had a talk with Die Hard Dice, and they said, we'd love to develop a Worldbuilders specific die. Now, I'm about to show you what the dice will look like. I want you to understand this is a prototype. This is they grabbed it and they kind of painted quickly over the numbers. The real numbers will be inked in a much more specific way. But you notice now we have Worldbuilders dice from Die Hard Die. And they will come in this beautiful case, which it won't be this design. There's actually a special design that Zay worked on and Zoe worked on that is specific for Geeks Doing Good 2021. And it will, yeah, there's a good look at it there on the screen. That's the actual, and that is not a mock-up, that is an actual prototype that was made and is on its way to us. And why did my phone suddenly decide to?
And Gray, will they be able to purchase these items separately as well?
Yes, they will be able to offer them separately, but we are also liking, I don't know why that phone thing went that way. Oh, well, that's all right. We'll just deal with it. The first few orders, though, with the bundle will also be getting the Field Notes 5th edition character journals that were donated by the Field Notes company to us, which we appreciate.
That's amazing.
But wait, there's more. So y'all remember the cards, the D&D cards that they, it was a previous staff that did this, that they released. Pardon me. Well, Die Hard Dice came and they said, we're thinking of making something like that, but making them actually out of fine wood tokens. And, you know, can we make them so that they are looking really, really nice there? And come on. Yep. This is some fine camera work being done here.
This is a little trippy.
All right. So what we decided to do was we said, these are great. Like this one says, inspiration, gain advantage on an attack roll, saving throw, or ability check. However, we know some people, and we worked with B. Dave Walters and Larry Dixon and Anthony Rapp and Jennifer Kretschmer, and they all came up with special Worldbuilders specific tokens. So there'll be a base pack that Robbie will sell on Dragon at Heart and stuff like that. But there, for Geeks Doing Good, there's going to be an exclusive Worldbuilders pack with 20 different tokens in it. And a lot of them are made specifically for Worldbuilders by these geeks who do good. You know of them, the players that have created these specifically for this project. So for example, Larry Dixon's says the Griffin King on it and has a picture of a griffin on the back. And Jennifer Kretschmer's Dreamwish Jen, hers is Alindra's sanctuary or hut or something like that, but it has a little house on it and stuff. And there's going to be a Worldbuilders token. And we will reveal later on what the benefit of the Worldbuilders token will be. But it is something that is different than any other token that I think has ever been used in D&D. So that will be fun. So I'm really excited about these tokens being made. And I think it's also, we tried to make them so that even if you don't play D&D 5th edition, you could use it in whatever one you want. For example, the Die Hard Dice, which also has a token made in this, theirs is Die Hard, which says, did this, dead? No, you're not. Keep rolling a dice until whatever roll killed you doesn't. So that's kind of thing that can be done.
There are a couple other things that I'm pretty excited about as well. Besides the token, if you happen to know of Julia Madalena, the esteemed illustrator who often works with some I got distracted by the Die Hard reference there in the chat. Thank you for that. Who works on a lot of the Kingkiller images, illustrations. Julia has some really cool parts in Geeks Doing Good this year. We have 4 different images that we're not going to show you yet, unfortunately, but I'm very excited about this. 4 different images, Kingkiller related, Pat Rothfuss approved, that'll be available in Geeks Doing Good that are, I will say, going to be very handy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They're very, they're images with like some different hands and stuff. And I apologize for this really stupid pun.
There's something very evocative about them, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Yeah.
But if you follow Julia's Twitch stream, Julia, please feel free to link your stream in the chat. You may have actually seen her work, and it is a series that Julia has labeled Thousand Hands, King Killer related. So it's, you know, different characters, and they're just really beautiful oil paintings that she has allowed us to use as prints, and they will be signed, and you'll see them in there. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. Again, we don't have an image yet because I really want these to be a surprise for people. Another one that I'm excited about, Gray, if I can just ramble on a little bit again. Someone involved with Eladin is also a game designer, Aaron. Not the same Aaron who creates a lot of the tack boards, who is also very talented. But this Aaron is the creator of some board games, one called Earworm. It's a pretty fun board game / interactive game. And the last ones that he had available, so the last ones that he owned are going to Worldbuilders that we're using in Geeks Doing Good. I don't know how long Earworm will, you know, last in the ecosystem, but it won't be available again, as far as we know.
I can read the back of it, by the way.
Yeah,
just
please
so
do.
People know. When playing Earworm, vocalization is key. During a turn, players can use any vocal method to help their teammates guess a song, as long as they don't use any of the song lyrics. Players can hum, whistle, beatbox, scat, use gibberish, or wordless vocalization, such as la, 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 or do, 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 or anything that is going to help your team guess the song. Miming is not only allowed, but encouraged, along with dancing, air guitar, or whatever else you want. So this was a Kickstarter game, and it has 242 song cards, including 42 that were picked by the Kickstarter backers. So yeah, and it's suggested players are 4+. So good group game. And I don't know about you, but I've been really missing having karaoke. So this to me will help heal that missing. So agreed. That's a cool one. Hey, you know what else is cool?
Oh yes, bringing it back.
Yep. So last year, you may remember, we had the first name of the lunchbox, which was the wonderful picture of Ari and the moon. Well, this year we're using some artwork with permission of Brotherwise Games. And this is Fire, Thunder, Broken Tree, I believe is what it's called, by Artem Demura. And it is a eco-friendly plastic with a sustainable bamboo top, silverware, and a nice little easily openable, he said, bento box with dividers inside. So you may have seen those last time with the Ari and the moon. Now we're going to release the second one, which is the name of the lunchbox. And this is definitely something that we like a lot. And it even has a cool little band. Now, of course, as usual, will be a cool little band that I can't seem to get on this thing. Hey, look at that. Oh. Nonsense. I was getting a phone call apparently. But yeah, so has a nice little band that you can also use on it. And in case you're wondering of, well, wait a minute, what about King Killer stuff? Well, yes, we will have the traditional 77 books signed with 7 words offered again. We're going to be bringing back, speaking of Julia Madalena, we're going to be bringing back the original leaf design cloth of the for the tack board, along with our current 2 designs, which is the Celis flower and the Chandrian design by Julia Madalena. Woo! And that bundle will also come with a bunch of pieces. And finally, because we're all on our phones all the time, these are little like phone stand things. They're called clickets. and we'll be having 3 different versions. This is the mock-up of the Ares gear, the Brazen Gear one. We'll also have one for the Valdemar series from Larry Dixon, and one with the Uhuru logo from Skyjacks. So those will be available as well.
That's awesome. I'm excited for those. Just kind of another point is, sometimes you guys participate by purchasing items off the Indiegogo. That is awesome. If you ever want to participate in fiscal, non-monetary means, you can always share and talk about Geeks Doing Good as it's going. Share with your friends, talk about the things you like, continue talking to them about Worldbuilders Market. All of these are great ways to help with our initiatives and, contribute to the products. And when products sell out, we sometimes will put them in the store. The incentive of getting them on Geeks Doing Good is that often they're a cheaper price than we would bring them back for. So, always keep that in mind. But if something goes away and you guys really like it, it's a super high demand and you want to see it again, come back on the Worldbuilders Market, always communicate with us. Just, send a message on the DMs or, in worldbuilders.org. It's always great to hear from all of you.
Yeah, absolutely. We should probably stop trying to be talking marketing stuff and answer some of these questions that were asked. Like, hey Zay, you've been doing these interviews on Worldbuilders Weekly for about a year now. What is your favorite book or show or work or author you discovered through these interviews?
Are these questions that you guys asked us in Discord?
These are actually from Discord, yeah.
Yeah, so my favorite author, one of my favorite authors that I think was a really crazy moment for me was getting to talk to Joe Abercrombie, because I've always loved his work. So I didn't discover him through getting to chat with him, but I think it was very much a, oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking to this person kind of moment. Other than that though, a very recent one was John Gwen was he's just an awesome personality. I hadn't really been super familiar with his work, although I had heard of his books. But sometimes when you get to talk to the author, it kind of or even hear them talk sometimes on YouTube, it kind of establishes even a more interest in their work. So if you guys saw that recent interview, that was awesome. Lily Yu herself is a super delight. And On Fragile Waves is beautifully written, very tragic, but amazing book that I felt very connected to in the storyline. And I don't think had we had the opportunity to talk to her that I might have really seen her work just organically, because I'm very focused on fantasy, the kind of dragons and slaying. I don't often see those more biography or nonfiction style fictions. I can't think of another off the top of my head, but if we keep talking, what is one for you, Gray?
It's hard to narrow down one. Ta-da!
Wait, I think it still looks, oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is how we're going to hang for the last moments of this show.
Yep. All right. So the question was, oh, yeah, I messed that up, didn't I?
What are some of your favorite books,
What are
shows,
some of my favorite books and shows? Well, there's this one, definitely. This is going down in the annals as something. So I should say that my first con as the executive director of Worldbuilders was also the last science fiction convention I was able to go to before COVID, and that was Ace Comic Con in San Francisco. And I was sitting in line and I was hoping to get to this one author, but there were 2 other authors there, and one of them was S.L. Long, and I liked S.L. Long. But I was really hoping to get this other author, and I won't say who he was, but literally, like, I was just up to his part in line, and he left. Like, he took off. So, I mean, to be fair, authors sitting there trying, that takes a lot of energy. I don't actually begrudge him it at all. But it meant that I got to talk to S.L. Wong instead. And that was amazing. Getting to know her as a person, getting to chat with her at Worldbuilders. She also put us in touch with a whole lot of other authors that you've seen here on the screen, including some of my favorites like Nandi Taylor or S.B. Divya. So these are all people that I really enjoyed talking to. But I'd have to say that S.L. Wong was like the first person that I approached and asked about. It helped that, like, I approached her, we talked, I came back and said to the Worldbuilders board, hey, I got this one author who can come and talk to us. Like, oh, who's that? It's S.L. Wong. And like, oh, who's that? And I, had to explain. And then she went and she won the Hugo for the best short story. So they don't say, who's that anymore. They say, hey, wow, great. Managed to talk with her before she was cool. No, she was always cool. But anyway, that was probably my favorite. And I gotta say, talking with Nandi Taylor was amazing. And also talking with Suyi Davies was absolutely brilliant. So I don't know, there's so many. It's hard to say.
I feel like we're really fortunate because I can genuinely say that the authors and creators that we have on here are always really nice to work with. But, I have some people that I genuinely just adore, having chatted with them, and I look forward every time I get to speak with them. Mike Selinker is one of those. If you guys follow Mike on, social media, he's a wonderful creator and person. Also Mike Martinez, who is now on our board, is just a really genuine guy, great author. Always enjoying with him. And of course, like Kevin Hearn, I have a blast every time I get to chat with Kevin, because he's just funny, genuine. But yeah, also like I'm wearing right now actually a Kugali shirt. So we get to make these connections with some of the people that we admire. I loved that Kickstarter. I thought it was really cool, and it was also awesome getting to chat with the minds behind that work. So yeah, it's a fortunate place. And kind of going back to Geeks Doing Good, we plan to have our panels again. Please come hang out, check out the authors, check out the potential games we'll be running, and get to know the minds behind all the creations that you guys love.
Yeah. I would have said Julia Madalena is one of my favorite people that we've ever had talk with on this, but I don't want to embarrass her, so I won't say that. But it is true also, even though I'm so, literally, she has inspired me to restart my art habit, which was amazing. Somebody had fallen off, so.
That's true. Julia, you're amazing.
You are. All right. I was so busy doing the thing, I lost the script. Do we have anything else? Oh, yes. So we have one last topic to cover. It's a short one. And it's a question of, is Star Wars or Star Trek better, and why? So I think we can start by doing kind of a statement of positions, and then we can lead into areas of conflict and contrast, parallels in Western literature, and perhaps follow up with, socioeconomic impact of the franchises on our, Western culture. So do you want to take that, Zay?
Yeah. So we are 5 minutes behind, and I will start this long-winded. No, I'm just joking. So I personally enjoy Star Wars more because there's more like branches of stuff. I don't love the 3 big blockbuster Star Wars. Especially everyone, of course, didn't love the ones that came out a little bit later. I do love Mandalorian. Huge fan. I don't think, though, that Star Wars has the same representation as Star Trek. So I think Star Trek is probably a better show in that way. But I don't know. I just really like the I think I enjoy the type of fantasy that Star Wars is a little bit more than Star Trek.
I mean, it could be argued that Star Trek, well, both are fantasies, but that was definitely there. Asked if I was on the debate team. No, I was on the improv team. So, and as people may know, with improv, there are some things where you just have to keep talking and talking and talking, even though you're not actually saying much of anything. So yeah, thanks Yonix, Yonikis? I don't know how to pronounce your name. Babylon 5 all the way. Now, what, don't you think Firefly would be a good representative? Never mind, I'm not going to get into that. We probably should let these people go off to their lunches and save this for another debate at some point. I will say I am Team Star Trek, but the reason I'm Team Star Trek is because Star Trek actually posits a universe that I would like to live in, and where I seriously think of what I do as something that is going on. As something that I do every day is to try and work towards that kind of world. So yeah, post-scarcity for the win. I think we're about good. So when can you come to see Geeks Doing Good and all the stuff we talked about? June 21st is when we kick everything off. And at noon, it's the traditional Patrick Rothfuss marathon stream. I believe he's focusing on the Disco Elysium, which I guess is some kind of ABBA-themed video game. I'm not quite sure what happens there, but I have my gold lame jumpsuit and platform heels just in case it's needed. And yeah, that'll be going on. And then it'll go all the way through the 28th. There'll be 11s. If you remember the last fundraiser, I'll be hosting 11s every day. And we'll have other special events, including that first Geeks Doing Good Live on the 23rd, hosted by Mike Martinez, and special guest on the 24th, Brandon Sanderson will be coming to talk with Zay about Magic, playing the game Magic on the 24th, evening of the 24th. And there'll be other people coming along too. We have a D&D game happening, possibly more than one. We'll have some, Martha Wells is going to come on with other authors and play some Among Us online. So lots of fun stuff happening as well.
Yeah, stay tuned, y'all. We're going to have a lot more guests and a lot more events. Mm-hmm. We'll announce it as soon as we can.
Yep.
All right.
And I think for our sign-off word, we're going to go old school and go back to the old days of Viva Moose!